Alright, so let's do it. We have here this giant box. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can read what it says here. It says, reach your summit. Very cool. The box is very heavy, by the way. This is a sturdy AF box. We got their little mountain design there. And then on the underside, this is what the Keebs looks like. It's just showing you how modular it is. Let me put it there. So it's got that modular pad on the side that you can put on the other side if you want. And then it has that little dial up the top. I don't know if you guys can see that clearly, but it's a media display that lets you change music and stuff. The Numpad also has programmable macro keys. That was the reason why I got it, because I liked the macro keys after having this Stream Deck, which you guys can see here. That's my Stream Deck upside down. There we go. Okay. So this is pretty cool. They have this little flap here. So this is where you could see the mountain symbol sticking out. It's actually kind of clever box design. But this is like multi-layered cardboard, guys. You might not be able to see it. There's a crease over here that maybe you can see. Multi-layered cardboard. Like, they put a lot of effort into this box, dude. The other way. There it is on the inside. This part you can't see on the inside of the lid up here. Apologies. But innovation, aesthetics, customization, performance. Wow. I'm going to put this one down on the desk here, and then I'll talk about this Keebs in a second. But actually, this is got a nice weight to it, guys. As you would hope from an expensive Keebs, because generally, if a keyboard is light, it's probably not made out of the best material. This is a wrist rest, which spans the entire length of the Keebs. You can see there are actually little divots in it. If you look there, let me lift it up. Those little divots up the top on this side for cable management, I think. Nice little cushion to it. Okay, let me put this to the side for a sec. We'll come back to it. Oh, it's a second compartment down here. I see. There's a second compartment. I think it's a slide drawer. That's kind of crazy. How come you got a new keyboard? Because I didn't have enough room on my table. So I wanted to condense my two keyboards into one, famps. And I also thought it was time to upgrade because I really like the aesthetic of those high switches that are just straight onto the plate that don't have a rim around the keyboard. I really like it. It looks really nice. I don't know how it feels to type. We'll get to that in a second. So it's down here. I'm trying not to break everything. I'm not sure if it's stuck on some of the tape that I cut before. Let me see. I try not to break this beautiful box. In this stream. Streamer too stupid to open box. Smoge. If you're just joining us, this is normal struggle. I guess I never really thought about it with laptop keyboards. Because I think most people... Oh, I just needed to pull harder, chat. It was stuck here. It was stuck down here. This. I was trying not to break the box, but turns out I couldn't open it without the box being broken. Turns out. We've defeated the final boss, chat. We've defeated him. Ah, yeah. Also, this is the media dock. Media dock. Hard to read because of the reflection. But this is the thing that you guys saw, which sits on top of the keyboard. So this little gadget, the way they did it is pretty cool. So they have a USB-C port just here, which connects in, and you sort of just need to know where to put it. Then it's got media buttons, mute. Don't know exactly what this button is, what that symbol is there. It's like an O with two arrows. And then this is a dial that you can rotate. Now the dial has different bits of system information displayed here on the screen. Nothing that it does at the moment I think is super crazy. You can look at the time, you can look at brightness of the keyboard, you can adjust it here. You can, what else could you do? check like system information as well, which is kind of cool. I think this must be the confirm button for the scroll wheel. Like it's nothing super crazy, but I think the difference between getting everything together or getting it without this was about $10 or 10 euros. So I was like, I might as well have this. How much was the keyboard all up? It came out to being about 250 euros. I can't remember how much that was in AUD. 391 AUD. Yeah, that sounds right. Which is actually cheaper than the Claymore, interestingly enough. Or arguably a better keyboard with better longevity because you're able to swap the switches. There we go. It's on now. But I agree with you, Vampire. I would have gone with a custom keyboard because you could build a decent custom keyboard. I was talking to Lee before about all this Keeb stuff, getting his opinion and advice. You could build a better custom Keebs for that much, definitely. However, the problem is I wanted a detachable numpad and I like having macro buttons. You could get something separate from it, but I like having the ability to swap it and put it on the other side. And having it attached because of space. Keycap remover. So this keyboard has a really cool feature, which is it has magnetic feet. Which is kind of nice. And you just stack all the feet underneath the keybs to get the exact tilt that you want. It's pretty cool. Let's take a look. Got a bunch of different switches here. These are Cherry MX switches. But that's to replace their like artisanal keycap there. We'll get to the keyboard in a second, Vampire. You gotta have some patience. We'll get to the good stuff last. I know everybody's keen. Next one. Yeah, magnetic feet's actually pretty cool. Like it's a simple idea, but I guess it's pulled off with good enough quality that it doesn't seem tacky. Well, because like simple ideas sometimes come off as tacky, but then again, simple ideas done well look really neat. So this is the numpad. 4 programmable macro buttons up here. Just a regular numpad otherwise. Let's see. So this is the cool part that makes it detachable. So you should be able to. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Let me try and make the lighting better, but move it like that. There's a little switch here that brings the USB-C out that way. And then when I pull it back, it brings it out the other side. So that's pretty neat. It's also got magnets here. These little bumps here. Let me just rotate it. These little bumps here function as magnets that hold it against the board. So that is neat. You know, the thing that bothered me with a lot of custom keybs is that they had literal calculator looking numpads. And I just didn't like the aesthetic. I needed something that was similar to the actual keybs. I just couldn't take it. This is a very solid cable. Oh my god. So braided cable. You're not going to be breaking this anytime soon. This is properly solid. I have found though, from my experience, braided cables tend to pick up more dust, but I guess it just encourages you to clean stuff more, which is never a bad thing. So let's get this bad boy out. Here it is. Turn it on side so you can see it. You can see the keycap here. All right. This is a magnetic base that doesn't lift up with the keyboard. Interesting. Let's do that thing. So it needs to come out this side. I think I'll push here and just move that. That comes out there. It feels solid. So it has aluminium plate with a like brushed metal feel. The bottom itself, I'll show you the bottom before I forget. The bottom itself is plastic. It has housing for cables all the way along the bottom, all those lines that you can see. Unfortunately, I know that it comes with ABS keycaps. So if anything, this is the cheapest part of the entire keyboard. Because even this padding, feels pretty, it's like got a firm squishiness. If this guy goes, I think it just slots in here like this. Again, I don't think this is meant to be able, oh, that just, oh wow, okay, that's effort. There is the tiniest, slightest jiggle on this numpad. The tiniest, slightest jiggle. Let's see, button feel of the macros. They're a bit short, as in they feel flat. It's not a bad thing. Maybe it's personal preference. I'd like maybe a little bit more give. Not quite as satisfying as when I press the Stream Deck here. And when I press the Stream Deck, like there's a good indentation feel. I'll bring this over here. Where some people like it flat, hey, it's personal preference. If you like it flat, that's cool. That's alright, you're allowed to do you, chat. These buttons feel, I mean, to be honest, I don't know how you could make these buttons feel any different. These guys here, and then this scroll wheel here. This scroll wheel feels, maybe it's a little bit stiffer than I would have anticipated. I thought it was going to feel a bit smoother. Feels like some of the clicks are a little bit sticky, if that makes sense. It doesn't have nice, discrete one click, big space of nothing, then another click, a big space of nothing, and then a click. If that makes sense. It's got constant tension the whole way through. I think I would have preferred it with slightly less tension the whole way through, but the amount of clickiness is actually quite good. I'm just thinking, whatever material, plastic that they've chosen to cover the side of the wheel with, actually sticks to my finger okay. Because I know in some other people's reviews, they said that you can't turn this with one finger. Which brings us to this one next, yeah? Did we do this clicking? I feel like peripherals, like good peripherals, headphones, microphones, keyboards, a good mouse, those sorts of things don't really go out of fashion, or like their technology doesn't get outdated super quickly. Because like a mouse from 10 years ago would still be very, very usable now, for instance. Didn't know Keebs had this much ASMR potential? Absolutely it does. We haven't even got to the meat and potatoes. Everyone just wants to hear the spacebar and the enter. That's what we want to hear. This actually takes significantly less force to actuate than this guy over here, which is my Ducky Shine 1-2 Mini. This one's Cherry MX Browns. And then my other guy over here, my oldest keyboard, this guy, which is my Ducky Shine 2, is Blues, I believe. Hopefully this sounds as good as we're hoping. If not, we'll be left with limp salamis. That would be most unfortunate. Backspace. Enter. Ooh. But can we get some Betty salamis in chat? You can hear that there's like a slight hint of the clack behind it, just the slightest, but it's not wobbly. That's satisfying. Control sounds filthy. Oh baby, watch out, Kimmers. This is kind of interesting. This is one of the gimmicks on this thing that I suspect I won't use. You can adjust this, and you can change these different settings. How very interesting. I find this strange. I don't know if you can read that upside down or if it's too blurry, but it says APM. This keyboard can tell you how many APM you have. I find that very weird. I can't imagine that I will use it, but that's cool, I guess. More is better than less.